Hi, welcome to my channel See Nor Art. My name is Kat and I'm an artist as well as a nerd. And today we're gonna be doing something a little different. We're doing some community requested art. So if you're new to my channel, I call them my community meows. That's what we say to each other. The community has not made up their own name, so I bequeath this name until a community name is created. So there's a little thing down at the bottom that you can do that is like a little itty bitty mouse, and that's catnip toys. So that's my way of interacting with you, and you can interact with chat. There's many different things you can cash it in for. Basically, you bring me a catnip toy, and I give you something in return. One of those things is art requests. So it's a lot of catnip toys, but once you get there, you can make a request, and that's what we're doing tonight. Is we're doing something called Maple Spring. Last year, I did Maple Fall, whereas I took some leaves that I had collected from Canada and had brought back with me after my trip and made it into a beautiful fall illustration. So now I'm going to turn around and do the same thing, but do it for springtime instead. So it'll be maple leaves and flowers together. So hello Mac, and hello Mather says hello. Good evening. Sorry, getting itchy. Okay. All right, now that I am professional and I can press the buttons, we're gonna switch this over so that way you guys can see. Hopefully this will be a lot better than finagling system settings. So what we're gonna do is I went ahead and pre-drew my maple leaves. You can kind of see it here. It's very, very light, but you can see it. I also did it as I did the previous illustration and did it in watercolor pencil. So watercolor pencils are pencils that are the graphite. The pencil lead is soluble through water, so it should fade, but it will stay. Those outlines will stay in there, so which is okay. I don't mind. I already kind of lightened up some of the lines because they had gotten really dark. I'll keep these pencils nearby, the colors that I used, to kind of help enhance different little bits of detail that I want to do. So, let me scooch that up just a little bit so that way I know. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my watercolors already ready to go. And I'm going to be thinking about springtime colors. Springtime colors usually have a lot of yellow in them because they're babies. They're brand new. So, I'm on my phone at the moment. My computer and Twitch aren't on speaking terms apparently. Ooh, no. Hopefully that fixes itself soon. I'm sorry that your computer does not like Twitch. Hopefully no one else is experiencing that. Let me move some water around. So like most things, you need to think about where you want to start and where you kind of want to end. I want to do the technique that I used last time for the maple leaves was a watercolor technique called wet on wet, which means that you pre-wet the area first and then you drop in color into that, and then the color moves where the water is, which means that there will be large areas of the paper that is wet and moist, which means since I have these overlapping maple leaves here, if I painted this maple leaf and then immediately painted the maple leaf next to it, these two colors would just blend together and create beautiful mud, which is great. I mean, we can work around that, but it'll be important to just kind of keep hopping around throughout and making sure that we don't overlap anything. The first thing I will do is I'm going to go ahead and make some greens. I'm going to be using, I believe it's called like lemon yellow. It's a very light, bright yellow. I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit of a puddle here on my palette that's off to the side. I want to keep using this bright yellow and try to stay away from my favorites, which are the ogres. I'm trying to stay away from neutral colors because I want it to feel bright and spring-like. I don't want it to be pastel, but I definitely want a nice strong sense of yellow. Already kind of making green. I already had green on my, because I was already making some beautiful greens the other day for my Yoda illustration. So I was like, oh, I already got yellow on this little palette. Next thing I'll do is, it's always good to make your own greens, but I'm kind of lazy. We're going to make a lot of different color greens, so I will use the greens that are already pre-made. But if you want to combine greens, very easy. You take yellow and you take blue, and it really doesn't matter which kind of blue, because you're going to make a green. Phthalo blues already have a lot of green in them, so it's going to be very saturated and very vibrant, and phthalo will take over your world. If you want something a little more subtle, you can use ultramarine. It takes longer to mix because ultramarine has a lot more minerals inside of the color pigments. So those minerals kind of fight mixing with other colors. But it's very beautiful. It makes beautiful pebbly texture. So if you're looking for that pebbly texture, it's a really good color to go for. So I'm going to go ahead and go to what is called Undersea Green, which is made by Daniel Smith. I love their watercolors. It's like a sagey green. Think like woods, and that's like the color that you get. It's got a little bit of blue. It's got a little hint of like ochre in it, but not too much. So it's just really pretty. Go ahead and like mix. It's got a little hint of blue in there too. It's gonna make a really nice, like almost mature leaf color, but just not quite. We're getting there, but not quite. Should make a nice green. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a clean brush that I have not used to mix colors. I set my color brush off to the side. I'm going to grab some water, and I'm going to do this. I'm just going to leap into here with both feet. I'm going to do this really big one right here first, and then we'll kind of work in the round. So I'm just going to use, oh, that's a big bead. That's okay. When this happens, you'll just want to help pull it. There we go. Just want to guide that little puppy down. Don't be afraid of the water. The water went bloop, and we were like, that's cool. So I'm just going to use this as a time to activate the watercolor pencil. So I'm going to make sure that I kind of go over these lines a little bit, because as we activate it, it will make the watercolor pencil softer. So hopefully it'll feel really good. It's weird to talk about art as a feeling. It really is a feeling though. It's a feeling of knowing your sorry, I'm changing the song. Hold on. There we go. This is a lot more upbeat. Speaking of feeling, so when you use a medium long enough, a lot of artists will talk about like, I just innately know. And it is a lot about playing. You always need to practice, but don't think of it as practicing. Think of it as like opportunities to just make art. Just make art to make for art's sake. Not everything will be gorgeous and beautiful, but you're learning, and that's the most important thing. I don't think we allow ourselves as adults to play and to just do things just to do things. You know, sometimes we just need to play video games. Because if you don't, then you never really get to learn how to perfect a video game or find video games that you like. We should always be encouraging that young kid that's inside of all of us, and encourage them to reach out and just have that time. Kind of overtaking this flower, that's okay. We'll just change the parameters of that flower. We'll be fine. Okay. Speaking of playing, okay, so I put water down. Here you can tell the paper is like, woo, that's a lot of water. Yes, but I did want to play myself, so I'm gonna clean out my color brush. I've set my clean brush aside. You'll need 2 brushes if you're doing wet on wet technique. One always touches clean water, it never touches anything else. Otherwise you're just gonna bleed color everywhere, especially since we're using watercolor pencil. The other one is just for color and play. So the great thing about doing wet on wet technique is that you can load up color on your brush, as you can see here. I've got quite a bit of color. I haven't even like mixed it anywhere. It's just directly from my pan, directly here. And this is the fun thing, especially if you are still like learning the colors in your pan. This is a good way to do it. Is give yourself the excuse to just go and play. Make color charts, of course, but also just do simple illustrations like this and know what colors that you want to create, and then just give yourself a logic puzzle. So I'm going to do this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach into my dirty water, which is just fine, and then I'm going to bloop. I'm just adding water back into it, so that way it'll move around, because then I can do fun things like this and make it pool to one side, or I can tilt it up and let it dribble, and see the water goes wherever there's water before, because it tries to find the easiest path. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's exciting. Whee! And it'll drip right off to the side as we tilt it down. And then we can tilt it back the other way. You can watch that color move through. So I think if you actually saw maple leaves that were this color, you would be like, that maple tree probably needs some iron. So let's go ahead and let's put a smidgen of green into this. So I'll do a little bit of Undersea Green right into my Ultramarine turquoise with a little bit of yellow. And we're just gonna drop some color in here. Hello, Lumos. Welcome, welcome. And hello, NorthStar. Hello, hi. Howdy to you too, Meow. It's nice to have you here. I noticed that you were streaming earlier. I could not join. I'm so sad. But I took like a tiny peek, and you were amazing, as always. If you guys don't know HelloNorthStar and think that my icon for Twitch is amazing, she is the artist who created it, so she's very talented. Created some really cute bunny painting. Was it last week? I don't know. It was gorgeous though. I hope that the auctioning for that went really well. So we're just gonna take this green. Just gonna kind of draw the. I want to make sure that I get nice color right up against color pencil, that watercolor pencil. So I really don't want it to be the focus later. And if I don't give it enough attention, it will be like, I'm here, and I will travel all the way through all your color. That's what happens when you use a lot of pencil underdrawings, is that it will travel and it will show up, whether you want it to or not. I'm normally okay with that. But here, I want to make sure that it feels intentional. So I'm just going to draw. Zoop. And zoop. It's a little lack of water over there. That's okay. I can go in here and grab a little bit of water. We can drop water and let water blossom. It's my favorite way to paint in watercolor, is letting watercolor do what it does best, which is letting it pool, letting it do all this fun stuff. letting it blossom and water. Oh, I missed a dad joke by Olomos. Says, two satellites decided to get married. The wedding wasn't much, but the reception was incredible. It's a great kind of wedding anyways. A little deeper green. Still wanted to feel like the fall illustration where there was a lot of like changing of colors. I feel like spring has maybe not as dramatic as fall, but I want the two pieces to hopefully feel similar. Let me tap. Go this way. Zoom! Look how exciting. This is the art of playing. Zoom, zoom. So it'll feel more like fall leaves than spring, but it'll have spring colors. If that makes any sense. I feel like it's very gradual. It's not really something we notice. The only time I seem to notice that there's a lot of change in springtime leaves is if we have a frost, like a pretty good freeze. Then you'll see like some browning and some like discoloration. There we go. It was coming around. And that's always kind of exciting to see because you're like, oh. We've had a couple hard freezes. Not this week, but the previous weeks. So there is quite a bit of brown actually in a lot of the trees here, which I am totally a-okay with. I am sure I have complained many, many times how much I really don't like, we have trees here that are called Bradford Pears. They are non-fruit bearing pear trees, and I am highly allergic to them. But that freeze really helped last week to kind of thin out the blossoms. So one thing about non-bearing fruit trees is that their original intention was that they were always supposed to have fruit on them to keep the trees to a certain size, certain height, and certain width, because the fruit always pulls down the limbs, keeps stronger limbs coming up, and so weak limbs always get, unfortunately, they're the weakest link. So here, because they're non-fruit bearing, they grow into a beautiful globe shape, which is, I understand how desirable that is. However, the trees are fundamentally flawed because they don't have fruit to naturally select the strongest branches and make sure the tree is real strong. So one, they blow over when the wind blows here, which it only takes a good 60-mile-per-hour gust to make them crack and fall. Because we did watch our tree in our front yard do that in a really bad storm last year. And then two, they bloom still. And their blooms are like extremely fragrant in pollen. It's not something you can smell, but you can definitely see the pollen. And this particular HOA, when they built this neighborhood, was like, let's put one in every front yard in the entire HOA section. So everyone has it. And then at the roundabouts, they have a circle. So the roundabout is entirely encircled with these trees, and you're just like, so you can betcha that the next time I move, I'm gonna check if there's any trees in the vicinity that they gotta keep under, like maybe one or two, but that is it. There will be no more. I cannot live in another neighborhood that has so many Bradford Pears. Luckily though, when we went to a nursery here in town last year, I have not been out in 6 weeks at this point. Nurseries are no longer allowed to sell them. So big contractors who are building homes out here can no longer purchase these trees because one, they're non-native. They are extremely aggressive spreaders. Even though they don't have fruit, they spread really easily. So they're kind of choking out some natural, because you can see them on the sides of the roads. They're always blooming. You can always tell they're little Bradford Pears out there. So yeah, it's pretty aggressive. All right, so now we've got this beautiful, happy, we've got spots going everywhere. It's gorgeous. It makes me really happy. I love how we're going to try to keep that one really light. That way we can build up some real depth and dark underneath. So we're going to leave this maple leaf alone. We're just going to leave all of its spots, let it bloom a little bit. Maybe it met. Here, we'll pull. So we're just going to pull this a little bit. This is really happy. Okay, so then we have some of the blossoming, but then we kind of helped pull some of the water around and reinforce those edges. Okay, I'm just going to leave my dirty brush dirty because we're going to find another maple leaf to kind of just be friends with while we let that one dry. So this... My new Thesaurus is terrible. In fact, it's so bad I say it's terrible. I don't know if I understood that one. Although this music is just like, oh, it's Kirby's Dreamland Bubbly Cloud. Okay, we're just gonna skip that. There's a Mario Kart 64. Woo woo! If you guys want to play, I think this is 4 minutes long. If you want to do a Mario Kart race, you're welcome to do so. Okay, I'm gonna hydrate. I'm gonna get some water. I don't know if Mathersist ever got his computer fixed. Okay, how's everyone doing this evening? I hope you guys are having a good week. To let me know in chat what you've been up to. Hello, Xiaobian. How are you? Wink, wink. Did you just wake up, buddy? 7, my oldest kitty, is giving me the slow winks of I've been asleep. Are you coming up? Nope. And Newton's asleep behind me, just completely passed out. Hello, buddy. Hi, Sia. Are you gonna give everyone a meow? Mer? Huh? Nope, just a purr. I know you guys probably can't see him. You can just see my arm just doing mystery motions off to the corner. Tico boy, yes, yeah. Yeah, all stretch. Don't fall off the chair. There you go. Okay. My week it's been a very busy week. Things seem to be happening in the world. Big huge shout out to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. They, my husband's sister just had her second child earlier today, a little baby boy, very healthy. Mom is doing great, baby's doing great. So there's a brand new baby on Earth Day. Seems like a good day to be born on because everyone gets to celebrate. So shout outs to all those people who are, all those medical teams that are helping bring baby boys and girls into this world. That must be incredibly hard right now, but I'm sure glad they're all safe. That's very bold. It's okay. Just go up to here. See if we can. Oh, good. Mother says, I'm sorry you're still working on it. I think we'll have to think about getting you a new lappy soon. Just comes a time in every lappy's life. Well, thanks, Lumos. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. How was your day, Lumos? Hope it was good. Hope the wind didn't blow too much today and you got a chance to go outside. I'm missing going outside. It's been I don't make it very far right now without feeling pretty icky. So I'm looking forward to being able to go outside soon. Probably do real early or real late evening walks. It's almost getting to that time of year where you can take little midnight strolls, which are some of my favorites. I like walking at night. Okay. We're just gonna leave that with all those colors playing around and we're gonna let it dry. As you can tell over here, as paint starts to dry, it does different things. One, it dries about 2 to 3 shades lighter, especially since we're using such translucent colors. And then 2, like the parts where like the water is pooling, these will dry with beautiful like crispy, like crinkly edges, which leaves already naturally have those ruffled edges. Even though they appear smooth, they have very rough edges. So those textures kind of just add to the illusion that this is actually leaves and not a painting. So it's a fun little exercise in abstract art, but kind of in like natural art as well, if that makes any sense. So let me rinse out this brush really quick. Sorry, my phone's going off because there's baby pictures coming in. So he is a cute baby boy. Okay, so I said I wanted to keep working in the round. I'm also taking time to think about like where my light sources are, and how I don't want to completely take that away. So what I might do is I might put like a really bright yellow leaf underneath here, like it needs some iron. just so that way when because I want to make this sleeve, so I've got medium, these two are mediums, so this is like medium dark, this is medium light. I'm going to make this dark, so like it's a very mature leaf. It's huge, it's dark, it's been around for a while, it survives the freezes. So then I want something to help push this. What this is going to be is very, very dark. I'm going to push that, so I want to go about one stage lighter than that. So we're kind of doing like a grayscale in a way, but a color scale between all the colors. So that way these colors kind of help push and pull everything forward towards us and makes them feel a little more alive. It'll also give you that luminosity of color. So that way, because easy way to make darks is put something light like next to it or near it, so it'll always make that appear much darker than it really is, because your brain automatically fills that information in. It's amazing how much we look at things but we don't actually see what we're looking at. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're gonna make this at least 1 or 2 shades lighter than this, so which means I need to take my dirty brush and I need to make sure it's very, very clean. So I'm gonna rinse it in my dirty water and then go into my clean water and give it another good rinse. And then if you are using like a palette like mine where I have little palette squares with color in them, you can always take your rag, and if you've got like, you're using like pale, don't press very hard, but you can always take the rag and pull out color. What this does is it lifts any color that may be on top of it. So when I go into green and then I immediately go into my yellow, or I put green down and then I go back into the yellow, I'm putting green into my yellow little palette pan. So if I want to lift some of that green out, I can just use my rag for that. So I've got a rag. So I'm going to go into a little bit of clean water and I'm going to make a tiny little spot on my palette for some, it'll be lemon, but it'll still have a tiny bit of green, but not as much as it did before. So we're just going to do that. Mix it in. We're kind of load up this brush. I have a lot of yellow up here, so I'm going to set this off to the side. So this is still very wet, but I can tell that the edges are dry, even though, yeah, the paper is cold, but the edges are dry. So we're just going to be very extra careful on this edge right here. So we're just going to keep that in mind. So we'll take our clean brush, put it into clean water. So I'm going to use water like I have before, but probably not as gobs of water like I did here to make all those beautiful pools. Probably closer to this one, so it's a little softer, a little more matte. So we're going to use clear water to draw it first. Thank you, Lumos, for the other dad joke. What cheese can never be yours? Nacho cheese. That's a good one. My phone is going crazy. That's what happens when babies are born. Stop. I took my clean brush and put it right into the water or the color on the palette. It's okay. Didn't do much, and I got it out, so that's all that matters. Okay, set that back aside. We'll grab this one that already has color preloaded on it. just gonna add a little springy light yellow. That little lemon yellow. Make sure that these edges that we're doing here are like this lighter yellow color. I might introduce green down at the bottom, but I want to make sure that the edges are closest to all of that color, all of that light. A little bit of water, a little water in here, a little bit of green. Green on the edges here. I'll just let that green bloom in the corner over here. I'm just going to finish this edge here. So we're going to keep that super light. I'm going to try not to overwork it at all. So let me rinse this color out. Got a little bit of water at the end. Let me just let it blossom right here. Yep. And now it's going to pull that color away, so it should help it make it feel lighter. So I'm just going to drop these, let them blossom. And once we get some pinks in here, it's really going to help lift it up and change it out a lot. I just want to establish my greens first, because my flowers will be pretty much the same color everywhere, just differentiations of like saturation of pink versus lighter pink, depending on how close or how far away they are from you, us, me, the viewer. So I want to establish my greens first, because they're really going to give the illusion of color, the illusion of depth, illusion of like leaves falling on top of each other. So, all right. So in nature of going round, so this one will be super dark. This one will also be super dark. So this one right here will probably need to take on this cue from over here as well and be a little bit lighter. And then we can do this medium tone right underneath here, which will help push this one up. So, but look at what happens as this is drying. See all these beautiful like textures? I don't work for them. They happened. I let them do their own little thing. You've got this beautiful yellow line going on here. All of these, it looks like little caterpillar feet walked all over this leaf. So cute. So cute. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right, so let me do this one. Just thinking about my colors, my options, how it's going to flow if I'm putting something too close to another thing. I don't think so. If I do this one really, really light and then do this one medium, it should help. And then this one will be even darker than here. All should go together. Okay. I have kitty loaves. They are cute kitty loaves. They look like bread, little loaf breads, little crescent rolls. So such good kitties. Okay. Is this my clean brush? No, this is my water brush, my dirty brush. Here's my clean. So we're just going to go in here. We're going to do the same thing we've done before. We're just going to paint this. Really make sure we work in those edges. We don't want to neglect them because we're going to be applying such light color on top. That said, we're going to find a fun song so that way we can go bloop bloop. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll step it up a notch. Did you hear that music, Siam? Did you hear the wub wub? The dub dub? Yeah, you good boy. Oh, you good boy. Stop playing with water, otherwise I'm going to make beautiful mud. So this one is pretty much dry, except there's a little well right there, which is okay. You can tell that I put water into this color here, so clear water did all this, so it faded it to this beautiful, very translucent. This leaf barely feels like it's in existence, which is wonderful, especially when we add a dark color here. It's going to feel very, it's going to make it feel like a beautiful texture. I just love texture of leaves. I love like creating abstract paintings within leaves, like just makes me happy. Okay, so the next part of pursuing that happiness is I'm going to go for this other little maple leaf right over here. We're going to color this little guy in. We're going to make him really dark. So that way when we know this is our darkest dark, so then we'll go 1 to 2 steps above here. That way we can establish this is our dark. So if we get into the middle of it and we go, yikes, and we start making it a little lighter, that way we won't have this huge, large area and have to worry about making a mistake, because we've already established our darkest darks here first. So that way we'll know we'll be able to gauge it a little bit better. I wasn't expecting that. So, yes, the previous song was a Winter's remix. Hello, Lady VOD. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna drink some water and I'm gonna listen to this. I think this is Kirby. So the one before, hold on, let me pull up the music. So this is Kirby's Dreamland, Kirby's Cabbage Salad, OC remix. And the one before was a remix of Winters, also by OC Remix, artist from there. So I just wasn't expecting that. Like, it was such a just a happy little saxophone. We definitely want to be thinking happy thoughts because it's springtime, it's pretty, things are changing. I love the idea. Wow, we wub-wubbed. I'm sorry, this song is it's all over the place, I feel like. We seriously wub-wubbed. Sometimes my music choices, I wonder, like, surely I listened to most of this. Hold on. Maybe it'll... Nope. Nope. Not today. It's a song, but not today. Yeah, we'll do this one instead. I know I like it. Okay. That was a weird, like, happy, peppy, like, jazz band, and then it wub-wubbed, and I was like, I wasn't ready for the wub-wub. I like wub-wub, but don't give me jazz and then wub-wub me. I don't know how I feel about dubstep and jazz together. Not sure. You have to be very careful with that mixture. Okay. Alright, so let's move on to this little guy right here. Let's move on to our dark leaf. He's had a long time to think about life. It's feeling a little dark. It's below all these other leaves, so there's some shading going on there. If you watch a lot of anime, I've noticed this in anime, instead of giving characters like shading, so like a hue of a color or like a glazing of a color, they'll just use gradual saturation of color to indicate shadows. So it's very fascinating, especially like anime from the 90s. And I find that choice interesting. I really prefer the increase of saturation to be preferable over like black like blocks of color, which I know is like mimicking like manga or like or here in the States we call it like graphic novels, which in a graphic novel setting, when you're using just, you know, ink and paper, it feels okay, but like watching a moving animation piece, solid black, if it's not used as like line work, can be extremely distracting for me personally. So we're going to use the trick of using increased dark saturation. So how do you make a dark green, you wonder? So you want to use not your clean brush, but your dirty brush. Set that off to the side. So we've already painted our leaf with the water. We're going to go grab some water from our dirty water. And I'm lazy. I'm just using pre-made greens. But Daniel Smith makes beautiful greens. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with these greens. Hello, Meow, your seest. Thank you for the 50 bits. Thank you for all the showing the love and enjoy your Plinko. It was perfect. Thank you for all the biddies. So we're gonna mix our Undersea Green with what's it called? Ultramarine turquoise. So green is yellow and blue. So if you want to go darker, you want less yellow and more blue. It does bend it down, but you don't want to put it so far in the blue realm that it's just pure blue. Although we do read blue as shadow, because we can help ourselves. As things go further in the distance, they become less desaturated in color, and oftentimes they turn different hues of blue that are just really desaturated. So it's very easy to use blue hues to indicate shadow or depth or all that fun stuff. So we're just gonna make a very happy green. So I have a very happy green, so I'm just gonna dip a little bit into that ultramarine turquoise. I can see the movement of all those happy, like, show love. So they're like doing little heartbeats, and I can see it on my profile. I'm like, is there something happening in chat? It's raining love. It is. It's seriously raining some love. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go in here. I think I just remembered something. I think I forgot to feed the cats. I'm like, whoops. Oh well, I'll feed them after stream. So we put this color, which is really great that this is next to, excuse me, not the lightest light, but is like in the medium tones, but not nearly as this. So we need it to be darker than this. So this right here is very close to our other friend over here. So we need to darken it up. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more of the blue. And I might actually go into a little bit of phthalo, Payne's Gray, to kind of give it a little darker. Payne's Gray is in the gray family, but it is made from blues, so it'll help darken that green up without adding black. So let's, yeah. See, that turned much, some wintry. See how that's like ink-like? So we're gonna drop this in. You can tell that my water's already kind of started to dry a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna see how like nice. Spa Bra says you gotta have your dark to enjoy your light. You gotta establish. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of water. And I think it's true. I think you gotta have a little dark to enjoy your light. If you only had light, you wouldn't know to appreciate it. See how that's making that, tricking your eye into thinking, gosh, wow. And putting this right next to this leaf will give this leaf have it more luminance to it. It'll feel a little more alive. Gonna go back here in the color. I'm just gonna continue going around my edges, and then we're gonna add some water, some clean water to the center. Let's see, where to go? There's also, clean up these edges a little bit, because there is definitely a flower underneath this. So I want to make sure these edges are very well defined. And that'll also help too. Having a nice, beautiful, like pink flower behind this really dark leaf is really gonna make it feel. It's gonna make it feel velvety, real dark. So I'm just gonna keep adding. So I left that area intentionally blank. I'm gonna wash out my brush really quick. go into a little bit of my clean water. I'm just going to drop this really quick. We're going to just drop this so we can move it around. So that way there's a little bit of movement. Then I'm going to go into the last of my really dark color. Add a little bit of Payne's Gray to deepen it up a little bit. I'm just going to go back to these. Because if we make it a solid color, it won't feel like the other leaves because we have all this beautiful movement and the little blossoming of color. So we're going to still keep that incorporate even though it's basically a single color. We're just going to use the white of the paper to help us. That way, all of the minerals that are used, all the color, so will also help too. All that pigment will separate gradually because you can already see the separation there. So like there's nice, beautiful movement going on there. Okay, all right, so we're gonna leave it alone. We're going to leave it. Hello, Steven. Did you get a nibble? I know, I realized I forgot to feed you guys before stream, and I'm so sorry. I don't know how you guys are surviving right now. I'm so scatterbrained. Okay. Hi, buddy. Mer. Should I just give you a treat just cuz? Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna give him a treat just cuz. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get it where you guys can see his cute little face. Okay. You want a treat just cuz? You want to do a rip and get a little treat? He licked his lips. He's excited. Yeah, be a good boy. Good boys get treats. Do you want a num num? Oh, there's a nummy. There you go. Is your siblings? Oh, there's one. Hey, well, that made loud noises. Did you get it yet? I'll give you one more. I think she's hunting it. Where is Newton? Oh, there you are. Hey, Newton. Here you go, buddy. Okay, we got everyone the num-nums. Okay. I'm all done. You good boy. All right, we'll switch on back. That was a good distraction. Bloop. Okay. Dear good boy. Yeah, was that good? Was that pretty tasty? Yeah. Okay, let's get some water for me as well. How's everyone doing? We are. Everyone's doing good. Okay, I got water. I was like, I just stuck my finger and I was like, oh no. This turned out really pretty though. There's some like, I just want to touch it. It's really pretty. Okay, I think the next one, since we established our darkest darks here, so we'll do this big old guy, this beautiful guy, and then we can do this one over here. Then we'll be moving on to pink. We'll check to see how our leaves are doing and see if we need to wait for another day to come back to the flowers. But we'll see. We'll see. Siavine is good and comfy. Everyone's taking little kitty baths. Hope you guys like my weird sing-song voice. Alright. Alright, so this is my dirty brush because I always put it back on my palette. Let's go into our clean water and let's go paint with some water really quick. I'm trying to think. I want to keep away from that so I don't accidentally run my hand through it. That one's also wet. So let's do it from here because I'm right-handed, so these two are dry, but these two are not, which is fine. We'll just need to be extra careful. Oops, got a little hair in it. We won't worry about it. We'll just pick that up. If your brush is shedding into your painting, if you're not applying color, just lift it back up. You can just, like, basically instead of going this way with the brush, you push upward. You can pick it up. I'm a cat friend, so I have lots of kitty hairs that hang out. However, if you're laying down color, don't even think twice about it. Just lay it down, realize that you got a kitty hair in your painting, let it dry first, and then remove the hair. The amazing thing about watercolor is that it goes where the water is, so it actually won't even show, unless it's like a whisker, but like a normal, like very fine kitty hair will not show up in the finished painting. You'll remove it and you'll go, I don't know where it was. That's not true for a lot of mediums. So like acrylic, that's probably gonna stay there for a while. You can remove it, but it might leave something behind. Watercolor doesn't seem to be that way, thankfully. I'm sure that gouache is very similar. So oil stays wet for so long. It's fairly easy to remove hair from oil paintings, in my opinion, because then you can just rework the paint back to where you wanted it beforehand. So you can always take a palette knife and scrape it off, etc. However, if your brush is your culprit of the hairs in your paintings, set that brush aside, say c'est la vie, and move away from that brush. Your brush should never be shedding hairs. It's either at fault of the manufacturer, so sometimes they just come from their birthplace just a little wonky. They don't have the proper glue in the ferrule, or it could be an oopsies on your part. So if you leave watercolor brushes or any brushes face down in water, the water will seep up into the actual glue part in the ferrule right here, and it will break down the glue, which will prevent it from holding on to all of your brush hairs. So you want to make sure that you always store your brushes flat. Wash them if you like to often. Some people don't like washing their brushes, which just make sure you rinse them out really well. Make sure that there's no pigment left in them, because you don't want that pigment traveling up here either. If you're going to do them for long-term storage, definitely wash them, clean them. Make sure that they dry. Use a little bit of just basic bar soap is the cheapest brush cleaner. Use basically like ivory soap, so something that is non-scented, has nothing in it. It's just soap, just white soap, no dyes, no nothing in it. And you can use a little bit of that to clean out your brushes for a cheap way, and then you can just use a very little bit on your fingers and smooth out your bristles to like flat, and then the soap will dry on the outside. That's how your brushes come to you, actually, is that stiff part is usually a little bit of soap mixture, just to make sure that the bristles stay flat and they don't get bent up or pushed in weird ways when you store them for long periods of time. My brushes always get used, so they don't ever stay in storage for very long. But while your brushes are wet, always store them flat. I store them upright once they're dry, but never until they're completely dry. Thank you, Lumos, for another day on joke. How do trees get on the internet? They log on. Oh, yuck. That's how I do it. Okay. So we have a little bit of that green that we had before, so I'm just going to kind of go back to my palette. I'm going to go right back into the place where I made the really super dark green. We're going to make a mid-tone green. So we're still going to go back into that Undersea Green, which has quite a bit of ochre in it, and that Ultramarine turquoise. And we're going to make a very happy green. I'm just going to go into that Payne's gray just a little bit, just to add a little bit of that velvetness. Let's go back into that Undersea, get a little more yellow in it. I'm not adding any yellow or any additional yellow into this because I do want it to feel very, very dark. I want it to have this velvety texture. I just love that velvety texture. I'm going to define the edges first and then work in because I love the separation of the color here. It's so, so nice. So the thing is that this is very wet. So I'm going to turn this, so hopefully I don't stick my fingers in anything. This is like the worst. I'll also keep in mind where my pinky is, so you might see my like a weird lifting or anything like that. It's just trying to make sure I don't drag my brush. So this is... So when you do paintings like this at home and you got time to allow your paintings to dry, I encourage you to do so. So that way you don't have to do any like weird hand movements. It just feels all natural, so. I'm just gonna draw this edge. Sorry, I'm just checking. Make sure I'm not missing anything important. Don't normally check my phone this often, but since it's weird to think of a family member in the hospital right now, because like a part of me is like, I know they're safe because hospital, like doctors, nurses, RNs, all of them are incredible people and they're doing an incredible job, but it is kind of nerve-wracking still to have a family member. Hello, wooden boy, with all of the reptiles. Oh, Pokeball. Thanks, Mac. Oh, thank you. But anyways, that's why my watch keeps going off. I don't know if you can hear the buzzing, but I'm just trying to make sure that I think I'll feel very comfortable once my sister-in-law and her little baby boy and her hubby gets home. So I kind of wiped out that edge a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a new edge. That's fine. It's our world. We get to do whatever we want here. We can make velvety colors of maple leaves that aren't like the true colors, but heck, oh my gosh, it's so much fun, right? So I'm going to grab a little bit of this. This seems very dry right here, so I'm just going to kind of put some water down. Make sure that edge doesn't dry. So I don't want any edges. I want it to feel liquidy. So I'm actually going to grab my clean brush and go into my clean water. I'm just going to drop some water down. I'm going to try not to touch the color. So I don't want to give, there we go. There we are. So then I'm going to take my dirty brush and I'm just going to meet this clean water like this and let the clean water go and have a merry time. So you can pull. I will need to add color in there, but for right now, I'm not going to worry about it because I know that that will stay wet for a little bit longer. Gonna whisper it. I'm gonna whisper it so that way it'll push and pull on its own. It's gonna help push that water along. There we go. We're making a little leaf smoke right now. I hear you, Newton. What's up, buddy? Careful what you doing, buddy? He's like right on top of my cords. I'm like, that could end horribly. You could unplug my entire rig. That would be bad. Tiny 1K. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good time. Off to painting leaves. Establish my darks. I'll go in with some water. We'll really let it go. That's why I love working with water and watercolors. Makes me super happy. Okay, rinse this off. So I'm rinsing off my dirty brush real good. My dirty water is a beautiful swamp colored green. Kind of looks like Kool-Aid. Not gonna lie, it's not the kind of Kool-Aid you want to drink though. Just gonna take a little bit of clean water. We're gonna bloop it. We're gonna drop it and bloop it and let it blossom. That clean water is going to push all of the established color on the paper around. It's gonna go bump, bump, bump. So then I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna let it sit. Alright. So we have like our dark here, and then we have like this mid-tone. It feels a lot closer to this, but I know that this will dry about 2 shades lighter than it is because it's very wet color. So this is still going to be our darker. If not, we'll just add color. We won't worry about it. Okay, so the last little maple leaf that I've got is I've got a little one right underneath here. And so basically, everyone has a friend, except this guy, but he's not going to have a friend. He had a little caterpillar just kind of go across and everywhere. But I do want a friend for this guy, so we're going to make a friendly color similar to this over here. Especially since we already got the darks over here, we can just make them lighter by adding some lemon yellow. Okay, so let me set my dirty brush on my palette. No, it's my dirty brush. I'm going to go for my clean brush. Although my clean water is slightly green, but that's okay. We won't worry about it. If you're just joining me, my name's Kat. I'm very happy to have you here. This is a suggestion from my community, from a fellow Meow. I believe Cable Flame's the one who suggested spring maple. Last year I did maple fall, and so they suggested that I make a companion piece to go with my maple in the fall. So I'm going to make maple in the springtime, which, by the way, makes the cutest bags and the cutest coffee cups. My maple fall, I have it, let's see, I have it for my pin bag. I've got it in mugs. Oh my gosh, it's the cutest merch. My mother-in-law has it as pillows that she brings out for fall. Super duper cute. The cutest throw pillows too, so. Okay, so we painted with just clear water so we can keep doing our wet on wet technique. So I have a lot of this really super dark, so I'm just gonna add some lemon yellow to this color here, see what we get. Grab a little bit of water, grab a little bit of very wet paint. We're just gonna add this to here. Don't need to be as, when your paint gets very, very wet, your watercolor paint, use very light pressure. So you're not like pulling up a whole bunch of color, because it'll be hard to get it off your brush. If it does become too much for your brush, just stick it in your dirty water, clean it out really, really well, and use the lightest, some air, the hair, as the Bob says. Zoop. We'll just add that. We'll lighten it right up. I missed a joke. Why did the fireman wear red, white, and blue suspenders? To hold his pants up. I mean, that's really important. You really don't want your pants to fall down. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mathersis, that you've been stressed. Hopefully things will get better soon. At least I'm hoping. If you're in chat, give Mathersis some love. It is stressful times. But I'm hoping hanging out together will make it a little bit better. We're here together. You're not alone. Never alone here. You always have friends. If you think that I'm funny for making little I do it everywhere. In the car, doesn't matter. I'll be driving and I'll have to make a turn, doesn't matter, right or left. And I will make like race car noises, like vroom and crying around the corner. Yep, that's me. Kind of relieves that itch to want to speed and be a speed demon, although you should not. You should obey the speed limit, which is exactly what I do. I just make fun car noises while I do it. Try to grab some of that dark. Meow. Hello, Newton. How are you? How is my middle child today? Okay, I think I'm gonna leave that alone because I got my edges really dark, so that way it helps lift that one up. But I also got some lovely yellows going on here, so be a friend. I'll just put a bloop right there. And we'll rinse a Russian or Kool-Aid water. It's not really Kool-Aid water, it just is very green. And we'll rinse this out right here. Okay, we'll set it back on our palette so we know that's our dirty brush. Hugs all the way around. I know. Yes, you definitely deserve some chill time. Yep. Okay. Alright, so we've got, it's looking really good. It's very exciting. I've got some puddles going on here, but puddles are fine. Puddles will relax and dry. So at this point, we have all of the leaves established here, and now what's left is just the flowers themselves. However, I am running into the problem that I have a lot more wet. So a lot of my flowers touch immediately with areas that are very saturated at the current moment. So I am looking at this going, I should really let my greens dry, especially since I have some overlaps here, and I may want to overlap some of the pink to kind of give it like, because well, especially with tree flowers are very translucent, so you'll actually see color through like flowers, especially like these little pink. I'm gonna do all these lovely pink flowers. So what we're gonna do, since this is a bonus stream anyways, because I mean it's Monday, I'm so sorry, I'm going to let this dry, because my instinct is like, if you don't let it dry, you're gonna run your hand across something and you're gonna probably mess it up. I am a klutz in life and in art. So this is why I do my process. That's okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna give out some nummies to my kitty cats. Then I'm gonna do my ending announcements, and we're gonna spread the love to everyone, and I'm gonna let you go because in the morning, Moo Meows, I'm gonna turn around and be right back here at 10 a.m. Isn't that exciting? So if you thought, oh boy, this is really exciting, you can join me tomorrow because I am going to be doing Yoda, or, well, a baby version of Yoda. I don't know what the child's name is in Mandalorian. I'm hoping they'll fix that real soon because I want to know this kid's name. I want to know if it's a boy or a girl. How do Yoda start? Like, it's already 50 years old. How did that happen? What happened in the first 50 years of that child's life? Anyways, nerding out for half a second about Star Wars and everything that is Star Wars. I will be doing that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here, same channel, same place. So if you're already subscribed, if you've already hit the little heart button, you'll get a little notification in the morning if you want to join me then. All right. So let's see if I can get a kitty cat to say hello. So now there's a big thing. Let's see if I can find a kitty. How I find kitties in my studio is I rattle the treat box. So come up. You 10. Up. And like all kitty cats, they do not come on command. Come here, Meow. You want a treat? I'll get somebody up here. Come on. Ha ha, I got a Nutan. Hello, Nutan. Hello, my orange friend. Hi, buddy. It's a good boy. You know what good boys deserve? They deserve a treat. You ready? Nummy, 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 nummy. Ha 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 ha. There we go. Right there. There's a treat. Hi, Ida. I see you, baby. I gotcha. Don't even have to leave bed, 7. There you go. Oh, I gotcha. Come here, Newt. Because you work so hard. Come here. You get a second treat. Yeah. Do you want that treat? He's kind of going cross-eyed. That's a good boy. Good boy. I know you can grab that. There you go. Good boy. Aw, Kirby's a good way to end this stream. Oh, I love Kirby. Kirby's so cute. Okay. Alrighty. I want to thank each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for the biddies. Mather Sis, you're amazing, the greatest. Thank you. Shout out to my mods. You guys are incredible. If you love the music that you've been hearing on my stream today, it's done by a mixture of a lot of people. 2 artists that I want to give a big, huge shout out to is Smooth McGroove and The Saint in the Rain. All my other artists come from ocremix.org, so if you want to check them out, give them some love, please do that. All of us artists, especially during this time, need all the support we can get. So, and you guys encourage us to keep doing what we do, so we keep showing up every day. Thank you, Meows, for being wonderful and amazing, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Let's find those end credits. Da 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 da. I'll do a little dance. Pew. All right, put those Meows into the chat as we say goodbye. Goodbye, Meows. I'll see you in the morning, bright and early. Bye-bye.